Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CDL podcast channel. In this episode today, we're winding down, getting ready for the MW2 season to start. We're going to talk about obviously the big news of the past week, Scump's announced retirement, talk about some awards that people are up for, MW2, the game as a whole, our thoughts on it, and some of the news, the GAs that are going down and stuff like that. And then at the end, we're going to talk about Brock and I's updated top 10 players list of all time heading into the MW2 season, which could see some changes by the end of it if some more players that are currently towards the bottom of the list or on the list end up winning rings. So we're going to talk about our top 10 players of all time as well as some honorable mentions. Maybe going to be a little bit shorter of an episode today as we get ourselves geared and prepare for the long episodes that'll come during the season. So if you guys enjoy this one, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube and drop a follow, drop a 5-star review on the audio platforms. But before we get into any of that, Brock, how you doing today?
Oh, we're doing good on this fine Wednesday evening in Wisconsin. Last week it was about 40 degrees. This week it's about 65 degrees. Bipolar weather. You could tell. You could say. And well, let's jump into these topics.
All right. So first of all, before we get into that, we also, I know Brock noticed this too. Last week's podcast performed extremely well. There was a lot of support on it.
Yes.
Had a ton of likes, broke 1,000 views, had a bunch of new subs. Like something like 30 new subscribers and stuff, which is pretty good amount for us here. So I mean, and it's the off season. It's not a time, and we understand that it's not a time that a lot of people are really into the CDL. I mean, people are getting into COD at this time because obviously the new game just dropped. But CDL wise and competitive wise, it's a pretty dry time of year. Season still hasn't started. Roster news is kind of over. So the fact that you guys showed that much support was pretty crazy. So we both want to thank you for that.
Yes, we appreciate it.
All right, now let's jump into it. News first thing. Sad news. It's a few days old now, but sad news for the competitive scene. Whether you're a fan of his team or him or not, it's sad news for the competitive scene as a whole. Scump announced this will be his final year competing. There was a fantastically made video that they released of him like walking around, like reminiscing on his career, and then like a more detailed video of him explaining what's going on. But basically announced it's gonna be the last ride, the last year of him competing. So sad news for the competitive scene and COD scene as a whole.
Yes, I don't want Scump to retire because I basically grew up watching him ever since like Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3 era. So I really don't want him to see him go, but obviously he wants to do other things than just play Call of Duty all day and stuff. And maybe he lost some of the passion potentially.
Yeah, and I mean, he has a unique perspective, I feel like, as a competitor because he played through the golden era at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been competing since what? Like, I mean, I know he won his he went to his first event in Black Ops 1.
I think it was MW3, wasn't it? His first started competing.
I know his first. Well, MW3 came after Black Ops 1, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know his first LAN was like MLG Dallas and Black Ops 1, and he played with Hecz and TP, and they won it.
Oh yeah.
His first ever LAN. So like he played in Black Ops 1, then plays in MW3, two games that are considered definitely part of the golden age. Then he, plays in Black Ops 2 and the Jetpack era where he won so much. Like he played through the golden era of Call of Duty, and now he's had really every COD since MW. I mean, he liked Cold War a lot, but like there's been a lot of bad CODs since
he exited not as good as the old ones.
So like, yeah, I'm surprised he lasted this long. It's like he's got to be getting burned out, and like he said, like, I mean, we got to thank him in the competitive scene for sticking around so long because like he could have easily left during the Fortnite wave when it was the biggest game in the world like ever, and he would have blown up on Twitch playing Fortnite. He'd be at the level of like Nick Merckx and those guys right now if he had done that.
Yeah, he's good old competitive person. And he did say it was like his 13th. This will be his 13th year competing, which is a lot of years.
Yeah, a lot of time putting in. He just got engaged, probably ready to just move on to a new stage of life, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what probably it is for sure.
And like, I gotta also imagine like the whole like content. It's not like he's like going into content either. Like I feel like for some players, it's probably a little scary that haven't done as much content to just like abandon the only lifestyle they know of competitive since they were 15 and like go in and be a content creator. But he knows everything that it takes to be a content creator and he's good at it. Like it's not a question mark for him. He knows he's going to be successful because he's got a huge brand and he's good at content creation.
Yeah, and he's done it before. Just not as much recently. But I'm just
there's not as much fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Like, he knows what's coming and he's going to kill it. And I feel like it's just, I mean, this has got to be a fact. It's got to be a lot less stressful to go into the content creation game, especially because, like we said, he's got an audience just waiting for him.
Yep,
It's
hundred
way
percent.
less stressful to just make content than it is to be competing and going over stuff and practicing 8 hours a day and just like the stress that comes with competing if you're not performing and all that. Like content is just gonna be probably a
Yeah,
much more relaxed lifestyle for him.
yeah. Which he probably, I think he needs, but he won't say it.
Yeah, because I mean, he's been carrying the Call of Duty competitive scene on his back since he basically joined it. Basically, since
Yeah,
Black Ops 2 for sure, when the content started to blow up, he's been carrying the scene on his back.
yeah,
Putting out like full, he was basically a full time content creator and competitor for how many years? Like,
yep,
really until like maybe IW ish, because he was still like basically creating content full time through like Black Ops 3.
yeah. He uploaded a lot of YouTube videos and such.
Yeah, so he's full time creating and full time competing. That's enough, or one of those things is enough for one person.
Yeah,
Either being a full time competitor or a full time content creator is enough for one person, and he was doing both full time. So absurd. He did say, however, though, on his stream, if they win every single event, he'll come back next year. So I think we almost have to cheer for OpTic to win every single event, so that way the viewership stays up and
yeah.
he comes back.
I don't think it's realistic, really.
No,
If I had to pick one, I want him to win champs to go on top.
I mean, I don't think it's realistic that anybody will win every tournament this year. That's
Yeah,
like that's never happened. It's like not. It's just like not possible, especially with the how fluky the games are now with squad spawns and everything. How hard
yeah,
the games are to control. It's pretty hard to be perfect, and there's just no way that they win every event. But it would be pretty cool if he decided to come back because they win every event. That'd be kind of cool. Might make for kind of a boring year if OpTic wins every event though.
yeah. Good year for
I will
OpTic
say,
though.
yeah, and I will say like some people, I don't know if like there's like a weird probably sector of haters out there that are like, of course he had to announce his last year to get attention or something, but I'm kind of glad he did because like
Yep.
I feel like it's better than going into this year and like it sounds bad like that we wouldn't appreciate an all-time great. I mean, people do it in sports all the time. Like a player all of a sudden retires and you don't appreciate him. That's why I liked when like Kobe, we knew he was going to retire and like you kind of like extra appreciate it. It's sad that it takes a player telling you they're going to be done for people to appreciate it.
Yeah,
But like I liked when we knew that that was Kobe's last game, so the whole world turned and tuned into the game, and like you could really just appreciate watching Kobe one last time. And like I like that for Scump. He's one of the all-time greats, and like I like that we know it's his last year, so like we won't take it for granted. We'll be able to watch like the crowd go crazy and everything. And if we
yeah.
go to an event this year, we'll be able to like take it one more time, like the most popular player of all time. Just
Hmm.
gonna take that in and like appreciate his final year.
Yeah, a lot of more eyes will be on him for his last year for sure.
Yeah, I think you and I are gonna have to head to champs this year. We were planning on maybe going to like Toronto or Dallas for one of the events. I think we might have to change our plans and make it the champs
Yeah,
for his last champs.
might have to since that video came out.
Yeah, but overall, we wish Scump nothing but the best after competing. Selfishly, for the entire CDL, we wish he was never going to leave because he just brings in all the eyes.
Yeah,
Um,
legendary career though.
but yeah, and he's going to be successful. I'm sure we'll see him around because he seems like a guy that would help out the CDL after his days of playing, and he'll
Yep.
probably be doing watch parties and appearing on the desk and all that stuff. I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of the desk, some people are up for esports awards. I'm not sure. I didn't exactly see when the esports awards were occurring, but I saw that we in the COD community had some people up, and you know the COD community, especially on Twitter, tends to win a lot of votes or tends to win a lot of like voting contests. So I'm trying to look. Yeah, you can vote here. They were announced on the 27th. I don't see a date on here yet. I'm sure there's a date on the website, but I'm not going to go through and look at that.
Yeah.
But people that were announced, Chance is up for Colorcaster of the Year. Miles is up for Play-by-Play. Alley Cat and Nameless are both up for Analyst of the Year. So in terms of people on the desk, all deserving. Nameless
Yes.
has been up a lot of times. I don't believe he's ever won, but he's been up for like a few years in a row. Um,
Maybe it's his
I,
year. He gets his one.
I think did Miles win last year? I'm pretty sure he did.
I think he did win. I don't think Chance has one though yet.
Yeah, I mean
I could be
Chance.
mistaken.
I don't think he has either, but Chance fully deserves it. I hope he wins it.
Yeah.
Chance has grown on me actually a lot. Like when I first heard him, the first time I remember hearing him is like Black Ops 3, and I wasn't a huge fan, but now I mean, I think he's maybe the best in the business. That's why I think he should win this award.
Same.
Obviously Merc is up there too, but I know Maven and Miles have both won play by play.
So yeah. Chance's year maybe.
Hopefully it's all their year. Hopefully Miles. It'd be kind of cool to see Allie win her first year as an analyst.
Yeah, that'd be cool actually.
It'd be pretty cool too, because I don't know. I mean, this could be a pretty like ignorant statement too, but for women in esports, I don't know. In COD, women in esports haven't been too prevalent. Like we've had Katie Bedford on the desk in like the CWL era, and then like Lottie was on it a little bit, and now
Yeah.
Allie. But overall, like other esports might be different, but there haven't been like most of the women that have been on like the COD desk or casting and stuff have been like host style, like Katie or Lottie. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm missing somebody, Allie is like the first female analyst on the desk, and I thought she did a great job this year. So
I
that'd
think
be
so.
kind of cool to
Yeah.
see her win.
Yeah, she did a really good job for first year.
Yeah, I mean that'd be kind of cool to see her win in Nameless as well. And then for other awards for players or teams, Controller Player of the Year nominees Kenny and Cellium are up for that, as well as Formal and not technically COD anymore, but he's still kind of one of our own. And then Controller Rookie of the Year nominee Pred. I don't know too much about the other nominees, but Pred seems very deserving. And then Team of the Year nominee for Esports Team of the Year, LA Thieves, obviously the team from COD that should be nominated for this past year with 2 chips and a world championship.
Back to back, basically.
Yeah, for some reason I doubt LA Thieves will win it just because of how big other esports tend to be.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be shocked to see like Formal win Controller Player of the Year, considering he came back to another esport and won a world championship.
Yeah. Honestly, he might win that. 'Cause that's how typical that was.
Yeah, and like Kenny and Cellium make sense too. Kenny is the world champ MVP, and then Cellium is the regular season MVP. So those two make a lot of sense too.
Yeah. But maybe not Pred. Sib has a chance, maybe for Controller Rookie of the Year.
I don't think he was a nominee. I'm pretty sure it was only Pred.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind then.
I think Pred was the only nominee that I saw from COD. It was just Kenny, Cellium, and Formal for Controller Player of the Year, and then Pred for Rookie, Thieves for Team of the Year, and then all those commentators and analysts. I don't think Sib was a nominee though, but Pred would make sense too because he was Rookie of the Year.
Oh yeah.
So I'm assuming it probably takes like the Rookie of the Year from every controller esport, and then just pits them against each other in some popularity contest.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know what other, probably like a Halo rookie, a Rocket League rookie, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know who they would be, but
I'm looking at the other names on here. I honestly don't recognize a single one of them, to be honest. Besides, I feel like I've heard of Bound. Is he maybe a Rocket League player? That might sound. Some of you are probably a huge Bound fan and watch the esport and know who he is, and I just sound stupid.
Is that a Halo?
Actually, you're right. You're right. I'm pretty sure he is a Halo player.
It might be Halo.
Because I'm looking at, here it is, Council Rookie of the Year. I see Pred. I'm not sure who this is. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, Bounds on Cloud9. Yeah, that's a Halo player for sure. I'm like 99% sure that's a Halo player. Yeah, Halo Pro. So that would be the only two I know, but obviously. So one of these guys could have had like the greatest rookie season of all time, and you and I have no idea.
Yeah.
He could have had won a world championship.
That.
I know he didn't obviously win Halo, but I mean, one of these guys could have won the Rocket League World Championship, and you and I don't have that much knowledge in that space, so we might just be like thinking Pred deserves it, and he doesn't even come close.
Yep. Let's go with that.
Yeah. All right. MW2 stuff, some other news. We'll go with this one first. Scump and Dashy. This is kind of cool. They were in a Mountain Dew commercial with Klay Thompson.
That was dope.
Yeah, kind of a cool crossover. It's just like a short little commercial, but I was like, it's kind of cool to see stars in esports meeting up with the superstar defending champ Klay Thompson in basketball. That was kind of a cool commercial to see.
Yeah. Dashy said he's a third Splash brother now.
Yeah, and he's like a huge Steph fan, so that was probably cool for him.
Yeah,
he like really likes the Warriors, and
I would be.
Yeah, that's super cool. I mean, you and I are both big NBA, NFL fans, so pretty cool to see an esports crossover with the NBA like that. Then MW2 stuff. Some weapons apparently. You can take this how you want. I think you know how Brock and I are going to take this, but some weapons in MW2 have up to 29 underbarrels, so like grips and stuff like that, and 18 muzzles.
That it's way too much.
I just don't understand who the audience for that is. Because like with the way COD's going, they seem to be like trying to cater to the casual so much.
But one thing, it would confuse them though, I would feel like
100%. Like they seemed like with the no red dots in the mini map and making the maps just chaotic so they're random and the spawns chaotic so they're random. Like they're trying to cater to the casuals in so many ways. But like to me, if I was just a very casual player, didn't watch competitive, didn't know anything, just hop on for my 1 hour of COD a week to just have some fun with my friends, I would think that the like older COD, like COD 4, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 style of just I get a red dot, or like MW3 style, I get a sight and a one attachment.
Yeah.
And it clearly says, hey, if you put on a foregrip, it reduces the weapon's recoil. If you put on a quick draw, you'll aim down your sight faster. Like, and just one attachment, it just like as a casual player and somebody that didn't want to spend a bunch of time trying to learn what was good, I would just want like a couple options for each thing, not 29
Yeah,
different underbarrels.
Have it as straightforward, because I'm confused with what all these do, and apparently no attachments on a gun is better than attachments.
Yeah, and like I I don't I don't know, like I don't know about you, but I like, even dating back to Black Ops 4, this is how it was. I don't like the whole like adding this onto your gun adds like some statistics to this but takes away from others. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's like 'cause you really never really know like what to use, like really.
Well,
It
and you
feels
never
like.
know if the good is outweighing the bad on certain things. Like you'll put on a grip and it'll
Yeah,
say it helps your recoil control, but it hurts your aim down sight speed. And I'm like,
yeah,
well, I do want less recoil, but like if I aim in super slow, is it worth it? Like I liked when it was just simple, like quick draw. All quick draw did was make you aim in faster. No negatives, no more positives. Or
yeah,
grip. All grip did was it made you have a steadier shot, not as much recoil, no negatives. Like why can't we just have simple attachments like that?
yeah. Also, on snipers, I wish if you put an extended mig on it, you just wouldn't lose aim down sight time for some reason.
Yeah, or like the reload speed. Like it takes twice as long to reload. Like I don't
Yeah,
understand like why it has to be so complicated.
yeah. They can overcomplicate it than they should of.
Like you could legitimately spend the entire, like if you don't look up class setups from like the pros or anything, you could literally spend the entire year trying to figure out what the best class is and maybe never actually find what the best one
Yeah,
is.
yeah. That is true. 'Cause there's so many attachments.
And you and I are about as competitive as it would come. Like we're about as into the competitive scene and in tune with the competitive scene of people as you can find out there. And we don't like it. And
Yeah.
I know for a fact that the casual player cannot like having this many attachments to go through, because I know for a fact that if I was a person who wasn't that into COD, but just like to play it every once in a while for fun, I don't want to log on and see like over 80 different attachments for a gun. I'm
Hmm.
going to be confused. It's going to overwhelm me and it's going to actually turn me off from wanting to play the game because I don't want to
Yeah.
learn all that if I'm just playing for fun every once in a while.
Yeah, you're just gonna spend like a lot of time creating class, see when stuff doesn't, other than playing the game.
The funny thing I think of is like, as weird as it sounds, like I think of like my dad. My dad doesn't really play video games. He played like the occasional like Madden or something in his life,
Yeah,
not like ever anything like that. Like I can imagine like I was like trying to teach my dad how to play COD, and I would like show him like Black Ops 1. I mean, he would suck, but like he'd be like, okay, I put on this red dot sight and I put on a grip that helps me shoot straighter. And like I feel like he could understand that and like play it. But if I shoved him into MW2 and showed him the class and had him try to set up a class, he would be completely lost.
yeah,
Like it's pretty straightforward. Oh, just put a red dot sight on and then go shoot. Like people can understand. Anybody can understand that.
yeah.
These attachments, though,
They make it way too complicated. I can
yeah.
barely figure it out.
Yeah. We also have GA stuff and like new stuff inside of NW2 to talk about. But first, now that we just talked about so many negatives, I saw CDL Intel post. What are 3 things that you think are good about MW2 in its current state and 3 things that are bad? So let's do it, Brock. Let's start.
Um.
Let's start with the bad. Let's get the bad out of the way, then let's talk positive about the game. Let's go over the bad
Ooh.
quick.
All right. The bad number one for me. The no red dots on the mini map.
Yeah. hmm
We need it,
I actually
please.
did put that in mind. I kind of forgot, but yeah, 100%.
Yeah. You want me to go through all 3 of them
Yeah,
real
let's go
quick?
through yours quick.
Well, speaking of the attachments, I said guns have way too many attachments on them,
Yep, 100%.
and the sound horn in the game is so egregious. If you don't have dead silence on,
Yeah.
and there's no ninja perk, so it's kind of can't like crab walking around the whole map basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had only one match with you, which is kind of funny because I fully agree with every single one you said. I agree with all of them. The no red dots, sound whoring, and the million attachments are all bad things to me as well. The one I matched with you was the audio in the game. I
Yep.
think the game relies way too much on sound whoring and audio, and my favorite mode will always be search and destroy. just because of the strategy it has. And I feel like you can't even play real search and destroy with audio in this game because you have to wait for dead silence to make a play. Like I don't feel confident ever going to make a play in search and destroy. I haven't really played much of it, but like I know, like if everybody's sitting still, I start clopping through middle map. Like everybody's gonna know where I am.
Yeah.
So
Someone has their headset cranked.
yeah,
So.
don't like that. The other thing I said, time to kill. Not a fan. I don't understand why it's so low, and I know people have. I've seen the argument that like COD Force kill time to kill, like World at Wars were similar. Completely different because back then the hit reg was so much worse. So like your time to kill like didn't it didn't feel as fast back then because like the hit reg was so much worse. So like you didn't kill as fast.
Yeah,
Like in this game, the aim assist and hit reg are so good, like you're insta killing people.
Yeah, you really look at them, shoot one bullet, they're dead.
Yeah, so TTK is a complaint for me. I feel like it should be turned up. I wish in the CDL they talk about it every year, but I wish they would just turn the health up to like 150.
Yeah, I know that like weren't people they testing it last year for Vanguard?
Yeah, they were testing it, but the issue was
Supposedly?
nades
Oh yeah,
because you like basically couldn't kill anybody with a nade. So I wish there was like a way for them to like deep dive into the statistics of like the background, and this would be like some real nerd stuff that we're getting into. But like, I wish there was a way for them to like deep dive into the back and like also raise up the damage, so like they could scale the nades to do as much damage as they normally would. But then like the guns are like the same amount of like damage input, so like it feels like the guns are on 150, but the nades somehow stay on 100. I feel like honestly for $1 billion studio like Activision, that wouldn't be that hard to scale.
yeah. I feel like it should be like that
Just like
complicated, but
tune up the damage on the grenades so that they basically like even out to being what they would be on like normal health, normal damage, and then just like make the guns shoot bodies at 150 health or whatever.
Yeah,
I wish they would do that. They definitely won't because they don't want to be playing a completely different game than you're playing in pubs.
yeah.
And then my last one is one I literally can't believe you didn't have on the list because I think it's your number one complaint about the game, and that's the movement speed.
I just
You
totally
can't slide
blank on
cancel, you
that.
can't bunny hop. Like,
I'm so sad.
Yeah, I'm not like completely opposed to no slide cancel, like no fast movement, but I feel like they just like took us from like Vanguard where like bunny hopping was crazy and prevalent and slide canceling was maybe the most crazy we've ever seen. And then they said no slide cancel, no fast slide, no bunny hop. You're just basically running around. That's about all you can do. I'm not a fan. It's too much of a change. I don't hate like slower movement, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like we need like somewhat of a bunny hop or something. Like it just plays so slow after being so fast for a while now. It just plays too slow to me.
Yeah, especially the
Not a
time to
huge fan.
kill. Like, just can't really. I don't even know how. Like for me, I'm struggling because I'm just outgunning. I'm trying to run away. Can't do that really.
You can't have like a finesse play at all. Yeah, I agree.
You really can't. But
all right,
what they wanted, I guess.
Good things. Let me hear 'em.
Good things. I like it's easy to get gold camo in the game. Really easy. if you want to grind for the, what do we call it? Camo?
Oh, the top one's called
Like
Platinum is like the new diamond, and then there's what is it? I know one of them's Orion.
It might be that
Polyatomic?
one. Well, yeah, one of those two. So if you want to
Polyatomic
grind
and
for that,
Orion.
it'll be kind of easy, other than last CODs.
Yeah.
Good things. I feel like Search will play pretty good once they figure it out. If they add like Ninja, maybe it'll be a lot better. But I feel like Search will be pretty good this year, from what I've seen so far from the pros.
Yeah.
And then I like the firing range option. When you go in your classes, you can click whatever the button it is. You can fire some shots like World War II for a little bit. I like that.
Definitely. The firing range in that like whole like it kind of was botched a little bit, but like the whole firing range and like that whole like menu in World War II, I always thought was pretty cool at the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily done the best, but I thought it was a cool idea. Like the whole 1v1 pit. And like the firing range and all that. I thought that was pretty cool in World War II. Like a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought it was pretty cool.
It was something to do if you didn't really want to play a pup game at the moment.
And yeah, and I appreciate them like changing things up. I'm never gonna complain about them changing random like menu things up like that to add stuff into the game. Unless it's something egregious like they tend to do lately. My three things that I had for good. I also had the camo grind. I think it seems a bit easier from what I've played so far. I know people are complaining apparently launchers are really hard to do because they like don't level up. But like overall the camo grind seems a lot easier. Like I've gotten a few guns gold like pretty effortlessly, and I'm a pretty big camo grinder normally. Like, I mean, I got the first like dark matter in BO3. I got that. I got BO4 dark matter and Cold War dark matter. I got all three of them.
Yeah,
So I've
that
always
was a
been a
grind.
yeah, I've always been a pretty big camo grinder like that. So I do appreciate that maybe they made it slightly easier. So that's kind of cool. I also said the game I think is pretty visually appealing. There are definitely some like visual things that I don't like. Like I don't like the no nameplates, but I feel like overall the maps and everything, um, from like kind of like the dreary dark maps that we saw on a lot of Vanguard, I feel like there are some more colorful maps and like the game itself is pretty visually appealing. Like I don't like hate looking at any of the maps. Like I hated looking at Desert Siege.
Yeah, that is actually true. Maps
Yeah,
are pretty good
yeah.
visually.
And the last one I said, I feel like the gunplay and like just the way the guns feel when you shoot, I don't mind. I feel like the gunplay feels pretty fun. Like I think maybe sometimes people confuse like gunplay and time to kill. Like I think we both agree that we hate the time to kill in the game, but I feel like if the time to kill was higher, these guns would be really fun to shoot. Like I feel like the gunplay is fun.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I like the Scar gun.
Yeah, like
Even
they
even
feel
though
fun
some
to shoot.
yeah, even though it's shoot, sometimes I kill people in 2 bullets. Sometimes it takes a whole clip. It feels like.
Yeah. But I would say like overall, if the time to kill was a little higher, I feel like everybody would be saying that they love the gunplay because I do think it feels pretty fun and rewarding to shoot the guns and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Three things good and bad. Next, we'll talk some GA, some weird stuff going on with the game. First thing, the Kastov 74U, which I want to say it's a sub every time, but because 74U to me has just always been a sub, but it is
Hmm.
technically listed as an AR in the game. Um, Kastov 74U has been GA'd. Smokes are also GA'd in respawn as well as flashes. I know everybody says the 74U is OP. I haven't really used it, so I can't speak on it too much, but obviously if everybody's banning it, it probably is.
Yeah,
And then smokes and respawn has kind of always been a thing. I'm not shocked by that. And I think they have it limited to one smoke and S&D, which also makes sense.
yep.
And flashes are GA'd. Normally I'd be like, but I'm 100% okay with that. And it only being concussions or stuns because the
Flashes
flashes
are
are, yeah, they're OP.
they're egregious.
You get flash so bright and so long. Like
Yeah,
it
like
hits you hard and it
you
lasts
just
way too long.
you can't do nothing about it until a trophy. Just waiting for your death, basically.
And they also don't want to have so many trophies, so I believe trophies are limited to one person can have them on as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make sense. 'Cause if for a
Yeah.
team, no one's getting in breaking a hill with a nade.
Yeah, so that's also I believe in the GA. So like it makes sense to me the no flashes and only one smoke. Don't
Yeah,
mind that. Another odd and potentially like I feel like people kind of glossed over this when it was said like this is a major concern, this next thing to me. Apparently pros can't play the Crown Raceway map due to copyright, and they may not be able to play the hotel map because it's also based on a real life location. And the museum map that we played in the beta is literally just ripped out of the game.
just gone.
It doesn't exist anymore because apparently that also was a real life location. It might have been a copyright. So like we already only had 11 maps that were supposed to be in the game. Museum was taken out to make it 10. Crown Raceway apparently can't be played as of now to make it 9, and Hotel might not be able to play either, making it 8. And of those 8 maps, I know for sure at least a few of them probably aren't playable and competitive. So like this is getting a little scary.
Yeah, those two, the Raceway and Hotel, are competitive maps as I've seen. Can't play that.
Those might be two of the best competitive maps we have that could probably be used in all three modes.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
it's
scary,
definitely a concern.
yeah, scary stuff there.
Might need to add some more maps soon.
Now that's 100% true. Now the last three things we have, well, the next two at least, very positive things. We can add some more positive notes.
Mm-hmm.
Franchise teams apparently are going to have creative freedom to design their own weapon blueprints and jerseys for the season. I don't. So the weapon blueprint seems pretty obvious to me, like the camos. I'm assuming,
Yeah.
which is a huge W. I've been begging for that forever. We just talked about it in the last podcast, or like a last few podcasts ago, when
Yep.
they showed like those potential designs for the CDL camos, and we both just begged them to let the teams design them themselves. So we begged for it. We got to give them praise that they did it. So very happy with that.
Yep.
Jerseys, I'm not sure. Do you think they mean like those in-game jerseys or actual like jerseys for the year?
I'm assuming they mean the jerseys for the in-game jerseys. That's what I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
I hope it's both. But
Yeah. Well, orgs will definitely make some dope ass jerseys in
Yeah,
game.
this is a huge
Along
W
with the
though,
blueprints. Yes, it is.
because I feel like they're pretty boring when they're all the same standard jersey and you just switch the color and the logo.
Yeah.
But now, like, we know OpTic's going to come up with something fire. Faze is going to come up with something fire. 100T is going to come up
Yep.
with something fire. And, like, I'm interested to see because I also feel like there are orgs with a lot of good staff members that have been built up, like Rocker and LAG
Ultra.
and Ultra. Yeah. Even like Seattle and New York, too. Like, pretty
Yeah.
much every org out there besides Vegas.
Yeah.
I
For
feel
now.
like they have a lot of staff. Even Florida, their social media team is usually great and always
Mm-hmm.
trolling. So, like, I
Yep.
feel like they're gonna come up with some fire jerseys and weapon blueprints that'll make it like a little more unique. Where now people might have just been buying whatever their favorite team was, and now like you might think that like maybe Minnesota comes up with an absolutely sick camo and like blueprint, and you're like, wait, I want to use that. Like I'm excited for this. This is one of the biggest W's
Yeah.
I've seen for the offseason.
Big W.
Just like that's what I miss so much from like Black Ops 3, like the crazy camos that you can get out of the loot boxes. Like just let me have some
Oh,
cool camos. I hate these
yeah.
stupid weapon blueprints.
Yeah.
Let me see
Yep.
some good camos.
I do like that. What do we call it? Reactive
Yeah.
camos and stuff. You could spin form Black Ops 3.
Yeah,
That was so fun.
it was. All right. CDL Mosh Pit playlist. You hear about this thing?
Yeah.
Apparently gonna have like a 4v4 type with the ranked mode. So I'm assuming on the 16th it'll be at least search and hardpoint. I don't know if control will be in the game yet at that point or not. It isn't yet, I don't think. Maybe it is.
I don't honestly don't know. I haven't looked.
I know it's not in pubs, but it might be in private match.
I
Uh
think there's a mode for that.
okay, because I know it's not a public mode that you can search for right now. But CDL Mosh Pit playlist will be coming out on the 16th with season 1. That'll include 4v4 playlists with the modes and maybe all maps so they can just test them out. And then a full ranked play with like rank up system made by Treyarch again is to follow in 2023. So honestly, pretty cool that we're at least getting like a Mosh Pit playlist. You can like just like hop on and like play 4v4 to feel out how the maps are. Because one thing that'll help is like you and I with our friends like to play GBs early on in the year, and sometimes we just jump in and it's just like it's a tough start right away because we play people that have been playing so long. Like this way, we can hop into a Mosh Pit playlist and actually like learn the maps instead of just jumping into GBs. Like I think it's a cool idea, although ranked till 2023 scares me because like they make it sound like it'll be like January, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's like not March or April, and all of a sudden we're not playing ranked until the season only has 2 months left in it. Because like the season ends in June this year, so if we're waiting till 2021, that means we're like already down to only 5 months left in the CDL season when ranked comes out at a minimum.
Yeah, I hope it's
At a max.
I hope they got it early January.
Yeah, I hope so as well. It's pretty wild to think that it could be a few months into the year. It better be like right away in January.
Yeah. Also, the CDM Mosh Pit place. Hopefully, it's like the actual right rules and sets and stuff instead of like the made up ones that they sometimes make.
Well, yeah, and like the MW version that they had of like their ranked play was literally just a 5v5 playlist, and like nothing was banned. It was so stupid.
Yeah, hopefully they ban the right stuff. Like I don't want to play against a guy with a shotgun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then the last actual like roster news. I mean, London's roster was announced, but I didn't even put that down here because we kind of knew what it was.
Yeah,
It's
we,
like not
we,
shocking
we
at
need that
all.
one. Yeah.
It just took forever to announce it. But then JP Krez announced as OpTic Texas analyst. That's a huge W. OpTic has needed an analyst or people to help out their coaching staff for ages and have really never done it. And JP is basically known as like the original analyst in COD. And everybody always says he's one of the best in the biz. And I always like seeing analysts hired because you know me and you know that like basically I've been working in stats and stuff in COD for so long and I want to be an analyst for a team. So I like always seeing analysts get hired and taking the W. So somebody out there listening, hire me as an analyst. I'll try to do JP's job.
Big facts. I approve.
Yeah, I'm trying to get an analyst job at some point, but JP, huge W. Obviously, he's basically known as the best in the biz when it comes to analysts, and I think it's something OpTic could really use because I feel like they've been putting themselves at a disadvantage with all these other teams having analysts and all this help, and they just basically have a single coach.
Yeah, definitely gonna help OpTic and Rambo this year.
And JP seems like he really like people like everybody who works with him, even all like sometimes I feel like in esports, especially, and even in sports, I guess in general, it's hard to get coaches like to earn the respect of players. It seems like
Mhm.
every player that JP's worked with, just like he has their respect.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a big deal.
Yeah. Big W.
All right. You ready to get into our second little segment here that we wanted to do? We're about 30 minutes in. Can wrap this up in maybe under an hour, but the one thing we wanted to do, talk about our top 10 players of all time list.
Oh.
Wanted to update it. Kyle and I did like a top 15 or top 20 it was last offseason. Wanted to update our top 10. May not have changed that much because every single person that won a ring this year was a first time
Yep.
ring winner. So there was no people already with a ring adding on, which may not change things as much, but we got some honorable mentions and stuff to list, and then our top 10. And the one thing I wanted to state is this top 10 is completely based on like if their career ended right now, today. Like
Yeah.
there's
The
no future.
accolades so far.
Because like I feel like guys like Simp, Abezy, Cellium, like though they all raise up the list if we're like projecting to the future.
Yeah.
Because like obviously I believe Simp's gonna probably win a lot more championships and maybe some more rings. So I think he ends up higher on the list than I currently have, but it's completely based on like if competitive COD ended today,
Mm-hmm.
where they'd be. So that's what I want to preface it with. We wanna just like I have a boatload of honorable mentions that I just wanted to say I was considering putting in the 10th spot, but they didn't make it. You want to go with yours first? Your honorable mentions?
Oh yeah. Honorable mentions. Let's go down the list. I have Slasher, Big T, Kenny, Attach, Octane, Apathy, and Teep or TP.
Yeah, so you basically said my list, except I don't think did you say Merc?
I did not have Merc on there but I could put more.
Yeah,
I already found more.
my honorable mention list of like all people I like considered at like the 9 and 10 spots towards the bottom: Attach, Merc, TP, Octane, Parasite, Slasher, Apathy, Kenny, Enable, and Brock's favorite player, John.
I don't know, John, but yeah.
all the people. I mean, I think they all have their case. Obviously, guys like Attach, TP, Octane, Parasite, Slasher, Kenny, John, all one-time champs winners with a good amount of chips to show for it, and then Enable and Merc and Big T as well. Three of the winningest players to never have a ring, so they're
Mhm.
obviously all up there as well. All those guys definitely were in consideration for the 10th spot, but did not make the list. And considering the people that you left off are all the same as like the people I left off, I think we might have the same top 10. But let's see who
Yeah.
you got at 10. I don't know if they'll be in the same order, but we might have the same players in the top 10.
10, I had JCap.
So did I.
But I really wanted to take him off and put Octane on there, but I didn't. Because
Yeah.
he has one more ring.
Yeah. For me, the people like the top contenders, like I obviously listed a lot, the top contenders, like I feel like Kenny and Octane are gunning for that. And Slasher as well, because of how much of a chance I think he has to win more chips in a ring this year.
Yep.
I feel like all three of those are gunning, as well as Attach. I feel like he still has a chance to gun back into that top 10. But like in terms of like older players I really considered TP here as well with his 16 championships in a ring.
That is a lot.
I feel like
of
he gets
championships.
underappreciated, but that's a lot. I also considered Apathy, who only has like I believe he has 7 chips compared to JCap's 10 and the same amount of rings. And I do feel like Apathy had a higher peak as a player.
Yeah, I would agree.
Early on, JCap was like really, really good. Like Black Ops 1, we always hear is the best player in Black Ops 1 and all that. But like I feel like during the Jetpack era and like coming up more in like Ghost AW, Apathy was really good. And then you could argue at points he was a top 2 sub or top 3 sub with like John and Scump.
Yeah.
In Black Ops 3. And then in IW, he finished second again. Then in World War II, he wins another ring. Like I feel like Apathy's peak might have been a little higher than JCap. So he was. I think my two guys that were competing for the 10 spot mostly were Apathy and JCap. But I want Cap 2 rings, every single finals in Jetpack's era. He was a finalist.
That's just crazy to think about.
Yeah, pretty absurd. And he went back to back, almost had a three-peat if they would have been able to. They were in winners bracket in his attempt for his 3rd straight ring in IW. They came from winners.
Yeah. I was just thinking that if he didn't get dropped from United, even though they dropped him for Simp, he would like take over Pristine's spot maybe in Black Ops 4.
Yeah, because that was like basically the argument I think was Pristini.
Yeah, he would have 3 rings.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know if they would have kept
It would have been
JCap, Clay, and Arcitys.
Yeah.
with Simp and Abezy, that would have been a lot to keep. But like maybe I know there was like the argument between JCap and Clay. If they go the other way and drop Clay, how different does the whole like CDL or like COD landscape look if they, because it was Clay and JCap that were arguing they were going to drop one of them. They hated each other.
Yeah.
They drop Clay, put RCs on the main, have like JCap and Pristini on their Maddoxes, and have Simp and Abezy. I still think that team probably is very good and maybe win champs again because of how good Simp and Abezy were. It's not like JCap's bad.
Yeah.
Top 10 of all time. Like that, things might look way different. JCap potentially gets his third ring there, and who knows?
He'd be up there then, I would have to say.
Yeah, I got him at 10 as well, though. I feel like he gets disrespected a lot, but he is definitely one of the all-time greats. Who you got at number 9?
I have Hecz.
Okay, I have Arcitys at 9.
That's fair.
I feel like they're players, though Hecz and Arcitys are definitely players that are in that same realm. Both have 2 rings. Hecz obviously many, many, many more championships.
Yep.
Hecz has 17 compared to Arcitys 9. And also Hecz has 0 online, Arcitys has 3 online for what it's worth.
Yeah.
And 3 of those online are like those home series, I'm pretty sure. And stuff like that from like MW and those days. So really how big of championships are they? But either way, Arcitys still has 2 rings and 3 champs finals appearances, Cold War, Vanguard, and BO4.
Yep.
So yeah, Arcitys for me, I have him at 9, but has definitely a chance to climb up that list further. And you have Hecz at 9?
Yeah, I have Hecz at 9. And then I have RC's at 8. So you can really honestly flip flop them.
Okay, we're not going to hear Hecz on my list for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But I don't hate him at 9. To me, honestly, the top 5, I don't think there's a debate. I think the top 5, you can switch the order around, but I think the top 5 has to be the specific 5 players I have.
Yeah.
And then I have Arcitys at 9. Hecz doesn't hit my 8 yet, though. You had Arcitys at 8, you said?
Yes.
I have Abezy at 8. So I think some people don't really like the Abezy at 8 debate. Some people don't think Abezy and Simp should be top 10 yet. I think that's crazy. Abezy has been in 4 straight champs finals now.
Yep.
And won 2 of them. I have him at 8 because he has 2 rings and he's disgusting. He has looking at the list here, he has 8 championships already, which like a few more, 2 championships this year would put him into the, actually 1 would tie him for 10th, but 2 would put him square into the top 10.
Yeah.
In championships and would tie him with JCap. So it's pretty insane. He has 2 rings and he's been known as one of the best players in the world basically for 4 straight years. That's a pretty insane peak.
Yeah. 4 straight is just crazy too.
Yeah.
So hard to do.
We like glossed over it like it's nothing. Like, yeah, he made 4 straight finals at champs.
It's like that with LeBron when he played
like
8 straight. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you got at 8.
At 8? Oh, I had RC's. 7.
Oh, that's right. 7, yeah.
7, I have Abezy.
Okay, I have Simp at 7. I feel like you have anything else to say on Abezy?
No, just he could go up the list if they win another one.
That's for sure. I mean, I think you probably agree with this. Simp and Abezy are definitely the 2 top candidates to be risers on this list.
Yeah.
Because I think Simp and Abezy are in a better position to win more chips in the immediate future than Arcitys. Even though you're an LAG stan this year, I think we got to say Simp and Abezy have probably the better chance to add more chips to the resume than Arcitys this year.
Debatable, but yeah. For now, I got to see how they play.
Yeah, I mean,
new team and everything. You got to see how they play.
How high up do you have? Because you have Abezy 7. I have Simp 7. Simp also kind of goes without explaining. He has 2 rings, 4 straight chips to the champs final. The difference with him and Abezy, though, is I'm pretty sure Abezy played World War II champs, and he obviously didn't make the finals in that. Difference for Simp is he has never failed to make a final at a champs in his career.
That's
because his first game is Black Ops 4, and then the 3 CDL games, and he's made the finals in every single one.
Yeah.
That goes without saying. The dude has never finished lower than second at champs and has 2 rings, and I fully expect him to get more than 2 rings in his career. Yeah. I fully expect that he'll have at least 3. I don't think this is like a crazy prediction because a lot of people do believe this. I believe that Simp will retire with the most rings of all time or tied for the most. I think he will get to 4.
Yeah, he definitely can. I just think of when I watched him in Black Ops 4. When
maybe the best player I've ever seen.
He just changed the EU United team so much, and they're unstoppable after that. He was disgusting.
Yep. BO4 Simp, I always say that, maybe the best player I've ever seen. He's up there for sure.
That's up there with Formal and IW.
And like BO2 Scump those days. Yeah.
Yeah.
AW Scump.
Yep.
You got Simp at 6?
I got Simp at 6.
Okay, I have Hecz at 6. I wanted...
But he's flip-flopped a little bit, you know?
Yeah. The reason I wanted to... So then I'm assuming we have the same top 4 because I think everybody's... Or top 5 in maybe just a different order because everybody's top 5 is basically the OpTic Dynasty and Clayster, I think. It's pretty much everybody's top 5. But I have Hecz at 6. The only reason I keep Hecz at 6 over the Tiny Terrors for now is because Hecz does have 17 championships with 0 of them being online. And the Tiny Terrors have 8 with 3 of them being online. They both have 2 rings. I definitely see the argument, obviously, for the Tiny Terrors to be ahead. I think they will be ahead of Hecz by the end of their career, but I do think Hecz sometimes gets slandered because of how much people tend to not like him. But the dude has 17 championships and 2 rings. Like, it's pretty hard to deny him. And I don't know why this site lists him at 17 because I know he always says that like Champs was his 20th win. So I think this like the CoD wiki site might be a little off, but we'll see.
Yeah, possibly. The OpTic Killer, the original.
Yeah, I mean, it goes without saying that he's definitely in the top 10. If you don't have him in your top 10, you're crazy or you're hating.
Yeah.
All right, you want to just run through our top 5s and like say what our order is?
Yes.
Okay. Who you got? What's your order? Who's your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
I have Formal at 5.
Okay.
Number 4, I have Karma. Number 3 is Clay. 2 Scump and 1 Crim 6.
We have only one swap to make. I also have Formal at 5.
Okay, I was gonna say, is it Formal and Clay switch?
No, I have Formal at 5. I just think that I think Formal's peak was higher than Clay's, but I think it's tough to deny that the 2 more rings that Clay has is tough to deny.
Yeah.
So I have Formal at 5.
If you count Halo,
you have 2. Count Halo. And then I have Clay at 4 and Karma at 3, which is where we swapped.
Yep.
And then I have Scump 2, Crim 1. It's just hard to deny Crim from the 1 spot. He has 37 chips compared to Scump's 30, and then the 2 more rings. So
yeah.
But I'm pretty sure anybody's top 5 should be the OpTic Dynasty and Clay. Should be everybody's top 5.
In that order.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. Got through the news, got through our top 10 of all time, updated. Coming up soon, potentially a special guest going to be on the podcast soon. We'll save that. Won't say anything else about it, but potentially in the next few weeks before the game comes out, a special guest could be on, and then we're going to do for sure the tier list of players heading into the game. But I got nothing else. If you're ready to wrap up,
just one more month, exactly till the season starts.
Yeah, one more month.
Yeah. Yep. Hope it goes by quick.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Drop a follow, drop a 5-star review if you're on the audio platforms. We appreciate the crazy support you guys showed in the last one. That was nuts. We love to see it. Hopefully we keep that going into the season and continue to hit our sub and our like and our comment and our just interaction goals. Thank you guys so much for all the support. And we will see you in the next one next week. Thanks for watching, everyone.